ship-based uniform, which is probably the coolest helmet display that you'll ever see.
What's up, guys? John back with another reaction video. Today we are doing a lot of like football content, but like just facilities, that kind of thing. So if you guys haven't watched my earlier a video about the Florida recruiting, make sure you guys check that one out. This one we're going to react to the Navy's football program, the facilities, $28 million, sponsored by the government. Let's go check it out. Right off the bat, we got the Blue Angels. I grew up in Hawaii, so I actually been to several Blue Angels shows. In fact, one of my high school classmates was I think he still might be a Blue Angels pilot, but he might have stopped a couple years ago. But I remember that was a pretty big deal for the high school that I went to. It was pretty cool to see him actually fly a Blue Angel. So shout out to him. They got some nice uniforms. I don't know how they do recruiting for Navy. Like,
what's going on, world? Brand new episode of Royal Key there on your screen. I'm your host, George Kill, and I'm here in Annapolis, Maryland with Greg of Navy. Greg, how are you doing?
How you doing, George? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm doing great. This is a special place, and this facility is just an extension of what Annapolis stands for. And so I want to discuss this facility.
That is a beautiful view. That is cool. I've never been to Maryland before. And those of you guys who've been there, let me know too, especially this area, Annapolis. Like, that is amazing. It's cool. It's next to the water. It doesn't look like an academy.
Yeah, I want to walk through it, but I want to walk through it pretty carefully because it has a lot of special meaning. Where are we standing right now?
We're standing in the Terwilliger Center. You know, we just opened this building in 2021, this wing of the building. You know, it's just an overall great place to bring recruits, talk about the history of the Naval Academy, and most importantly, Naval Academy Athletic Association. Now we're here at the rivalry, Army-Navy rivalry, the greatest rivalry in all of sports, in my opinion. You can pick any game, any year. It will give you a highlight film or highlight reel for recruits and parents and families and friends of the Academy to just come in to kind of reminisce about some of the different things. And
I have friends that are in both Army and Navy, but mostly Navy. You know, they're both amazing, you know, but I grew up in Hawaii, so like Pearl Harbor is like right there, and I worked there before, so I'm kind of siding towards Navy, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's really cool to see these programs actually keep up with the times in a way, because like usually the uniforms don't really change, or that kind of thing, but these days the uniforms have stepped up for both programs, and that is really cool to see. And I think that's what gets the recruits excited about going to the program, the school.
Different games that we've had, as well as photographs of their favorite players and stuff like that.
Now, with your particular role here at Navy football, you are heavily involved in the gear
so many
that we see with Navy, and everyone knows the military branch uniforms have so much storytelling in them.
2019, the Staubach throwback that's over here. This is what Joe and Roger wore. We had the 150th anniversary of college football patch on there. We tried to mimic the Heisman Trophy with the striping, the little divots from the top of the helmet and John W. Heisman Trophy, as well as, paying homage to 12 and 27, our two Heisman Trophy winners. Moving on, the 2020 Army-Navy uniform, a marble-themed uniform.
Cool,
so if you went over to a lot of the buildings at the Academy, you'll notice this kind of marble pattern. It's in the flooring in Bancroft Hall. We try not to focus on one thing specific to the Navy. We try to kind of rotate our ideas. So we went throwback, we went more academy based, and then probably one of the coolest uniforms that we wore, Marine Corps dress uniform. We wore
That is
this against
cool.
Air Force last year in 2021. Unfortunately, we didn't end up on the right side of the column. Hopefully we get to wear this one again, but it's just a classic Marine look. A lot of people say, well, why Marine Corps? Like 75% of our graduating senior football players, they commission as Marine Corps officers upon graduation. Every little detail was untouched. The white gloves, the black shoes, the black sock
That's
with
sick.
the red blood stripe down the
That's
side.
sick. And they got the white top.
So in the 2015 season, we wore a ship-based uniform, which is probably the coolest helmet display that you'll ever see. It was
It's
7
art,
different
man.
helmets, all hand painted. I believe that we were the first school to do a hand painted helmet.
Wow.
Now it's kind of becoming routine for a lot of people. Every position group had a different ship on them. So there were 7 different ships.
You guys have retired jersey
Nice.
numbers up here from all sports. David Robinson, Roger Staubach, Bellino again. And your trophies here are from all different sports, right?
Yep, so we're in the Patriot League for all sports other than football. So these are all the Patriot League championship trophies. And there's also an interactive display on this. Men's lacrosse went to the national championship. It was my first year, but dates-wise, I think it was 2004 national championship. They played Syracuse, and that was probably the most memorable run of any sport other than football since I've been here. Now we're here in the Ackerson Theater. This is our team meeting room, as well as, we have athletic department
Wow,
meetings.
look at that.
6
So
stripes on the
nice.
side of Go Navy. So the 6 stripes were something that we collectively got with Under Armour, and it stands for a couple things in the Navy. 6 original frigates, 6 stripers, the highest ranking midshipman on the yard, and the 6 original fleets in the Navy. So we, along with Under Armour, tell a story in a lot of the stuff. I mean, on
Makes sense because Under Armour's from Maryland. Yeah, took me a while to figure it out, but yeah, I get it. Okay.
the screen, you'll see there's battle print, and it lists every battle that is also at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium around the walls. So we have about 230 seats. They all have flip-up desks with, our iconic NSTAR Navy logo.
What is the significance of the star for those who don't know?
For those that don't know, the star is anytime you beat Army, you earn a star. So on their letter sweaters and stuff like that, every student athlete that beats Army gets a star added to it. We've kind of created it in the last 20 years or so since I've been here. Mr. Gladchuck, our athletic director, didn't like the solid end logo. We did a feasibility study with a couple people of what should our logo be. And we said, we're proud of it. So we're gonna make it the NSTAR.
So Greg, where are we standing right now?
Right now we're in the leader circle, so each class nominates a certain amount of people that our sports information department gathered the data, and it was kind of voted on amongst peers and classmates. And one guy in particular, the class of 2016, nominated Keenan Reynolds. And Keenan was, a quarterback here and probably one of my favorite guys of all time. Keenan was a very, very special player for us. He scored 88 touchdowns, probably never to be broken.
Now here we have another interactive area.
So this is the Distinguished Grad Leadership Circle. So there's people in here that have been voted in anywhere from presidents to former athletes, former astronauts, very influential business leaders in the world. There's a lot of people that went to school here that we honor in this. This is a recruiting area to show people, who will you become?
Who will you be?
So we're entering the class of 1972 Sports Performance and Rehab Center. Basically, this is our area that overlooks the other side of the academy. No water view, but this is an area where we do rehabs on Sundays. It's kind of a place that they can come and we have massage chairs and treatment tables just so it's not overflown. This is for all student athletes. We also have nutritionists up here. Now we're in the Belichick library. So Coach Steve Belichick, Bill's father, was a longtime assistant coach. He served at the Naval Academy for around 50 years. And this is just an area that we refer to as the Belichick library that would just have a history of the football coaches. A lot of people don't know this, but Bill Belichick grew up right down the street. In fact, his childhood home, they still own. Some of his old books and stuff are here behind lock and key, but they donated over 400 books to us to have on display here, which is something pretty special from a guy that has won multiple Super Bowls and really respected his father so much that there's no place that his father would rather have the stuff than the place that he spent 50 years of his life.
That is sick.
Over here we have a display of some of our favorite helmets
yes.
that we've worn over the years, and just adding simple things, you know, the most.
Look at these helmets, man. When you guys look at Navy, like I really believe that they have upped their program in terms of branding in general. Like, I mean, when you look at the uniforms, you're like, you get excited about it, you know? You're like, hey, I want to be part of that, you know, and the history, tradition, all that. So I get it. It's very cool that they pay homage to pretty much everyone serving, past and present, and not just the Navy itself, but also the Marine Corps, you know. So that's really respectable and very cool. I grew up around the military, and I went to school on a Navy base. So it's kind of cool to see, like, you know, everything. Of course, you know, we as Americans kind of like respect the military all the time, but like when you are surrounded by service people like all the time, like it just becomes like a normal thing. But when you see it being put on another level, like on a athletic you know, like uniform, you know, like something like this where you can be more creative, it just blows my mind, you know what I mean?
One is the anchor that we added just for that one game. I talked about the Ohio State game, our first year with the N-Star Snake, the 2021 helmet with the F-18 with Top Gun coming out. I mean, we kind of hit that one perfect, and stay tuned because I personally think being involved in designing them, I think 2022 could be the best one.
So that's
okay, Greg, I know we'll make our way down to the first floor here in a second, but again, it speaks on what you were talking about earlier, the marble here, just very nice and aesthetically pleasing in this area. But the big elephant in the room here is the Blue Angel.
I think it's an 80% replica of an actual Blue Angel plane that was designed for in here. It was donated by the Adzema family. Mike Adzema played offensive line for us a couple years ago, and his family donated this plane. I don't think you could go to any other institution in the country and find a plane inside a building.
More about the Navy logo itself. You guys have two rather huge symbols in there, the lobby area. What do those stand for?
One of them is Bill the Goat. He's our mascot. The other one is Chesty the Bulldog. And Chesty the Bulldog is the Marine Corps mascot. Famous slogan here at the Academy is Fear the Goat, but basically like the historical of Bill the Goat is goats on ships were often brought on on naval ships to eat all the trash and stuff like that. So that's how it's kind of synonymous with the Navy. I'll be honest with you, I don't know a ton about Chesty, but Chesty is the Marine Corps mascot. It was pretty cool because I'd never seen the live Chesty until the Air Force game. They brought Chesty the Bulldog to be on the sideline with Bill the Goat when we wore the Marine Corps uniform for the first time.
Greg, I know we're in a very interesting and intriguing part of the facility.
You know, Navy had not been in a conference forever until we joined the AAC. These are our 4 home and away traditional uniforms that we wear. And basically what we did was we paid homage to the 4 guys that were our first 4 AAC all-conference team members. So you have Malcolm Perry, number 10, you know, currently playing for the New England Patriots. Diego Fagot, number 54, currently playing for the Baltimore Ravens. David Forney, number 68, was an offensive lineman here who unfortunately passed away.
So do you have
and
to
number
serve
73,
first
Peter
and then go to
Nesterowitz,
the
played offensive
NFL,
line here.
or how's
Some
that
of the
work?
other things
Let me
that
know.
we showcase in this display are different gloves that we've worn over the years for Army, Navy, and regular season, as well as some of the different footballs that we've designed up. For every Army Navy game, we design up a special football to go along with the theme, as well as a couple of different cleats and training shoes.
Sick.
Now we're entering the Roger Staubach locker room. We renovated in 2019. It's named after Roger, who's obviously one of the most iconic players ever at the Naval Academy. We have backlit lighting in all of our lockers. They were made by Shield. We looked at a lot of companies. Shield was one of the better companies that were making hard surface lockers, and the abuse that lockers take, they withstand, the beating of the players. We added in such things as, obviously combination locks, backlit nameplates, backlit. Every locker goes anchor goat, anchor goat. We're now standing in our Jack Langle weight room. So a lot of people that may not know, Jack Langle used to be the athletic director here, famous for We Are Marshall, all that, but it's named after Jack. It's the place that our guys get bigger, faster, and stronger. You'll see different terminology on the wall, like attitude, effort, being all in, toughness. I mean, that epitomizes as a Navy football player. Every plate has Beat Army on it, because that's the one thing that everybody
that's like
here
their main goal.
knows. It's the slogan that everybody says. We end everything with Beat Army. Attached to the weight room on the other side of this glass wall here is our player lounge, or AKA wardroom. So in the Navy, a lounge is considered a wardroom, and this is our player lounge / wardroom, which is also our nutrition center. We have 2 full-time nutritionists in there, food always stocked, smoothie bar. We do recruiting photo shoots in there. It's kind of a study area for the guys. Unlike traditional schools, that may have a pool table in the middle of it, our guys, play a little bit of Madden and study and watch football games, but that's really about it. On the walls in there, we have framed jerseys of the actual jerseys that each former NFL player that graduated from the Naval Academy wore.
Well, there you have it, folks. The Navy football facility. Greg, you guys have a jewel here. I don't know if you realize the amount of stories you have here and the facility to back it up. So we appreciate the tour.
I appreciate it. All right,
Amazing. Hey guys, I loved watching this. It would be cool to see an Army one too. I love this, Sports Dissected channel. They really go in depth about the history, how everything works, behind the scenes. So let me know if you guys know anything else, any details about this. Hey, shout out to those of you guys who serve, those of you guys in Navy, Army, Air Force, any of the academies. I salute you guys. I was thinking about actually joining the Air Force, but obviously I had other plans. So shout out to you guys. Great information, and I hope you guys enjoy the reaction. Make sure to check out the reaction for the college football championship tomorrow, Georgia versus TCU. I'll see you guys in the next one.